All right, so let's have a look at how Yannick Borel takes a lesson. Probably one of the best attacks in the business, and let's see at how he does exactions and he practices them. And what you'll notice, right, is that a lot of the times you're going in and your reaction is going to be the same no matter what, and you adapt, and that's how you can be proactive and set your game up. If you look for something insanely specific, you'll forget the flow of the whole bout and you won't be focused on what you actually need to do. And when the exact moment you want happens, you might not even be ready for it. So let's have a look. I'll make this big. Right, so it's attack on prep, and you'll notice it's actually pretty close to what Grumier does, right? That Grumier lesson we looked at before, right? So Borel pulls, stops, attacks in, and it's not even like the prettiest attack. His butt's all the way up. You'll notice it was kind of how it was on the one before. So
Lâche ton bras. Hein. Derrière, en mouvement. Là. Oui.
So what's the action? Let's go back and look a little bit. The action is engage 6, disengage the line. So let's look. Engage 6, right? Which is also showing a high line. So disengage. If there's no blade here, becomes a feint. Right? So that feint, go. Engage, instantly go in. All right, so the first general application for this, right? You engage 6. What does your opponent do? They push back in 6. Boom. What's important is look how the coach, Sikal, has started his step, and Yannick Borel is already in the finishing motion. So let's look at the action. Let's look from this angle. Boom. So let's... Oh, so he's giving us a nice slow-mo. Engage. And notice on the engagement how the tip is still very present. Boom. Let's look at the slow-mo again. So, for those of you looking how to do this, right, whether it's French or pistol, right, I'm sorry, I've been fencing pistols, so my hand's a little scuffed, but it's engage, disengage, engage, disengage, engage, disengage, right? So you just pinch, right? It's just a pinch. Look how much a little pinch will do. Pinch, pinch. Same thing with French grip. Pinch, pinch, right? So engage, disengage, pinch, pinch. So you just pinch both ways. Pinch up, pinch down. Up, down, towards your target. Pinch up, pinch down, up to your target. And at first it'll be really hard, but eventually you'll get the strength to do it. So let's go back. Right, so right now we're still just covering like what happens in that perfect scenario. I engage, I disengage, and you'll see this covers at least 2 more bases. So this one's super interesting. So we're gonna watch this again, right? So right away, Sicard goes in, he shows 4. How do we use that exact same exercise to still go through? And how, right? So 4, okay, cool. So Sicard on his step forward, looks for 4. Boom, hits. So let's look at it again. Magic. Right, so if our opponent just does 4-6, guess what? We're engaging, disengaging, but there's no blade, so we're just threatening a line, going to the other line. Threaten, go. So it's pinch up, pinch down. And now, this is beautiful because it goes on to the next point. If you're doing this well, you're actually also taking the blade. Engage. Oh, look, my opponent counterattacked. If I do the exact same thing, close my eyes, pinch up, pinch down, I will take 8. Now you're like, oh, I can do this movement really, really well. Why am I missing? You got to be doing this one on your opponent's prep. Ways to induce the prep, right? If you're following each other, take a big step. If they follow too big, boom, boom, you disengage in. What's important is the moment, but also your execution has to be relatively flawless. So let's look at it again. Engage, disengage. Oh, look at that. We took the blade. And then just a little variation, right? Because to make sure your students got everything on point. With the counterattack and a duck. And we still hit. And this is Yannick Borel. The dude's like 7 foot tall. So right on the step forward. And when you launch yourself, the decision has been made. When you start the attack, once you've done that engagement, your decision has been made. There's no going back once you've started. Commit and then deal with the consequences as you go. And by going, when your opponent steps forward, you're actually knocking off a lot of those bases. With the counterattack again, right? Engage, nothing, counterattack, hit. As long as it's on the step forward, you're preparing yourself to deal with most scenarios. So here, right? Again, like I said in the last one, because you're the one actively going forward. You're the one kind of being very proactive about everything. You are equipping yourself to force your opponent into a last-second defense, and because it's their reaction, you get to have the opposite reaction. Right? So you go in, boom. Oh, my opponent parried 8 last second. You're still in a position to do something about it. Then you can see here, so card kind of hesitated in the middle. He went counterattack. It looks like he kind of wanted to parry, and he got hit for hesitating. So what's cool here, right? Oh, I missed. You're still so focused on the hitting, your opponent will have no choice but to actually just fight back with you. Pick good moments. It's very rare that there's a bad action, right? An action as a whole is, right? It's whatever, but it's more common to have like a bad setup. But be ready because old man will flesh your ass. So on the step forward, I go in. Oh, my opponent parried. I'm still in there. And remember, like, if you're the coach giving this lesson, right, it's important to keep your student on edge and, right, obviously don't just let them prepare forever, but sometimes give them that curveball. Boom. So, overall, right, I wouldn't say it's not that easy, but we have the foundations. Now let's look at how we actually practice these motions. And it's a lot of grinding, right? There. Pinch. Pinch up. Pinch down. So here, so this exercise is really to show that you have control over the 6. 6. Nice high hand, right? You'll notice our our feint, right? Our engage 6 was nice high tip, high hand. Get a nice 6, and then reinforce the action, take 6 to the arm again. So it's just 1, 2. Mostly fingers. And now we're straight up practicing the engagement and disengaging to the arm. Why? Because, well, if you can hit the arm, you can hit the target that is the body. A lot of this just reinforce the notion. This is pure grinding. There's not a lot of like actual, like for this part of that lesson, the fundamentals. There's not a lot of thinking involved. There's a lot of like, when do I do this? You just do, and that's where you gain all that confidence that when you find the moment, you can just do your action. Boom. Now we add more. Engage, disengage, and one more. So interesting there, right? Notice how the first one, there was blade the whole time. This one, engage, hit, there's no actual blade. So rather, like, you need to reassess, reaffirm the notion in your head that whether or not there is a blade in front of me, I will hit. And disengage, hit again. And now, obviously, right, once we've kind of got the fundamentals, standing straight, hitting, well, let's move on to with a step. And honestly, to some extent, I'll argue that actually doing this to the arm might be a little bit harder. The only big difference here is to the arm, he's doing it with a step just to keep the control. It's not realistic to do this to the hand. Very, very forward tip. Boom. Right, and then after that, obviously, we move on, lunge to the body. Ah, so this one's interesting. Nice little variation. Engage, hit the hand. Engage from far, hit. Engage, hand, go back, take 6. It's all, like, the mechanics are so similar. For the hand part, it does need a bit of practice, right? It's engage, fingers to the hand. So it's very subtle, very soft. It's not a hard action. It's hard at the end when you pinch to hit, but engage, hand. Right, and remember, you can also do the other way. Like, you can do engage 4, go into 6. 4, 6, 4, 6, 6, 8. You even like 4, septime. The world is your oyster, my friend. Oh, so that's a good one. So, engage 6, hit the hand. Look at how he's just at the hand. From here, he knows what he can do. He can go to the body. Boom. So he did it. It looks like he looked down again with the 8, and he ended up turning into a beat. Whereas this one is engage 6, look to the hand, right? And then after that, it's beat 8 to the body. If the coach does something weird, we fight back. Engage 6, go to the hand. We go for it, right? And look how he's just fighting to get his tip in the whole time. Right, no blade on the first one. 8, so that's the final exercise, it looks like. So let's look slowly. We have our tip high in their face. Go in on their step forward. No chance. Okay, so let's bring back my face here. If you're practicing attacks like this, the action you pick will usually remain the same. It's the moment that you do these actions. On your opponent's step forward, I engage 6. If there is a blade, that's cool. If there is no blade, that's cool too. And then my fingers do the disengage and I go in. Same thing French, right? Engage 6. If there's something, on their step forward, if there is nothing, I will close to the body. You can still take the blade with a French grip. And then that'll lead to other things, right? You can make it your own. Engage 6 hand, engage 6 hand toe, engage 6 hand, I don't know, flick left, right? You can play with this, but know that when you do something matters more than a lot of times what you choose to do, right? I could do, this could have been 4 into 6, 4 into 6. And if you do it on a step forward, a 4 into 6 might have worked here, right? So pick your battles, and I hope you guys learn a lot from this and have yourselves a fantastic day.